Support for City Science has been provided in part by Science Chicago, the world's largest science celebration, awakening the inner scientist in each of us through thousands of dynamic interactive activities. For information, go to sciencechicago.com.
So light's got two basic parts you got to look at. One's a wavelength, the other one's a frequency. And you can quantify both those things. When they go through a prism, a lot of that light's going to get split up into a whole bunch of different parts based on their
wake up.
wavelengths.
I'm
So
up,
that's
I'm
why you
up.
see different colors
Sorry,
coming
sorry,
through the prism.
sorry.
Some of you guys
Careful,
might
he
remember
doesn't like it
probably
when you
too
fall
young,
asleep in
Dark
class.
Side of the Moon. It was an
Girl,
album
we're never going to
that's
use
made
this
out of
stuff
wax.
anyway.
And
Bah
used to
humbug.
put around a
What stuff?
nice little
Math,
thing
science,
spin
and all the
around
rest of
and
the
around
stuff,
the
they
middle
need to
and
teach us
songs
stuff we're
and
really
stuff
going to
like
use in the future.
Anyway, the cover of that
Whatever.
had a
I just
prism
know he
on it.
doesn't like it
Sent
when we
white
fall
light
asleep in
through
class.
that, and you'd
Come
see all
on,
these
it's just
colors
science
come out. It was a
class.
great album.
It's cyanide, guanine, cytosine, and thymine. Science you find in the city. Energy's discrete on the corner, on the street. It's science you find in the city. It's oscillators, regulators, emulators, generators. Science you find in the city. It's time to explore what science is for. Out the window and beyond the door.
City Science with Mike Davis.
Came out in the 70s and really made Pink Floyd what they are today. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. Hey, hey, wake up.
What's going on? Where is everybody?
Hey, calm down. You're dreaming.
I'm dreaming of a scientist.
That, or I'm dreaming of you. Have you had a burrito lately?
No, why?
I just have the weirdest dreams when I eat a burrito.
So I'm dreaming of a scientist? This is starting to sound a lot more like a nightmare.
Oh, very funny.
Well, I was just in science class, and I guess I was falling asleep.
That's not very smart.
Not really, but it's so boring, and I'm not going to need any of that stuff anyway. I'm into theater.
I think I know why you're having this dream.
Why?
You need to see why science is important to the theater.
So I'm dreaming of a scientist? This sounds more like a play.
A play like A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, going on at the Goodman Theatre in downtown Chicago.
Sounds like it.
Okay, since you bah humbug science, I need to show you that science is important to three aspects of theater: lighting, sets, and staging.
Seriously?
Oh yeah.
This dream seems to have got a whole lot better.
Do you remember what you were learning in science class?
It was something about lights, prisms, but like I told you earlier, I was asleep in class. What does that tell you?
That tells me you need to pay more attention. Lighting is one of the most important aspects of a theater.
I'll say it is. Hi, my name's Carl. I'm a lighting designer in the theater.
Nice to meet you.
So how do you do?
Hi.
I just happened to be passing by, heard you talking about lighting, and I just happen to have a swatch book with me too.
That's perfect. You know, we would love to know a lot more about lighting. Is it important?
Very important. For example, turn off all the lights. What do you see?
Nothing.
Point taken. Lighting is very important in the theater.
And what aspects of lighting are important to the theater?
Well, color, direction, and intensity.
Okay, so what do you mean by color? I mean, you got a lot of colors on your shirt right there.
Well, I can emphasize those colors with filters and gelatins, or people call them different things, but basically you can influence color with these in front of the lights. You can also influence perception by direction and intensity.
Okay, so when you say direction, what do you mean?
Well, if the light is overhead or in back of me, or perhaps in front of me, very low, like Dracula or the Wolfman.
So again, what about intensity? How is that important?
Well, how bright are you?
I'm
For
very
example,
bright.
if you were going to use a scene where there's an angel, you might want the angel to stand out.
So she could be brighter than the background.
She would be brighter. Of course, makeup would help influence that as well.
Now, when you're making these decisions as a lighting designer, do you work by yourself or do you have to include other people in that too?
Well, yes, we all have to work as a team because theater is a collaborative art. So we work with the costumer, you work with set designer, you work with director. Everybody has input into what the final product is going to be.
And what would you do if you wanted to make certain things on your shirt stand out? Like I see you have a little red in there. How would you make that stand out?
Well, you could put red on it. Of course, if you put a saturated red, it would turn everything red. So you might put a lighter shade, a lighter tint of red on, or pink. Of course, pink will change how the blue looks. Or violet will change how the blue looks. Might make the red look one way, but it'll make the blue look another way. So you have to be very careful of your color choices.
That's very interesting.
It is. But after all that, I still don't see the science behind the theater.
That's something I think I can help you with. White light, like the kind you see from a light bulb, is actually made up of lots of different colors from the visible spectrum. We can see this light when we send it through a prism and see that it is made up of all the different colors of the rainbow. You see, a prism is something we use to break light up into its different parts. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet are all there. To remember these colors, just use Roy G. Biv, the first letters of each color. When light hits something, like this apple, some of it gets absorbed, some of it gets transmitted, and the rest gets scattered off in all directions. Now, white light hits this apple, and red light gets scattered off. So this apple appears red to our eyes. So I've got a question for you. What do you think would happen if we gave this some other color light? That is, what would this red apple look like in green light?
Brown. If I put it under a green light, what color would the apple be?
Purple.
If I put this apple under a blue light, what color would the apple be then?
Purple.
If I put the same apple under a green light, what color would it be?
Brown.
If I put this apple under a green light, what color would it be then? Blue.
Okay, want to make a comparison?
Sure.
All right, apples.
Oranges.
This is red.
This is orange.
All right, now the reason this is red is because white light is coming, hitting this, and the red light bounces off, hits my eye.
And orange bounces off to my eye.
That's right. And now this is an apple, that is an orange. Neither one of these objects makes their own light. This is called subtractive lighting. White light hits it, a bunch of light scatters, and the light that scatters is what we see. So red light's being scattered off of this.
Orange light off this.
Now what would we have to do, Carl, to make these look different?
Well, we'd have to put a filter in front of it in a light source.
In a light source. All right, so let's put ours down here. And, well, they look orange and they look red to me.
Well, we have to change the color of the lights. So first thing you probably want to do is turn off the lights and then put a filter in and then look at it again.
All right, so first thing we do, we turn off the lights. Okay, so it still looks like an orange and an apple. How do we make this look different?
Well, I think we need to put a filter in front of the light.
What do you want first?
Let's try red.
All right, the apple still looks pretty red.
The apple looks very red.
And the orange.
Well, the orange, we know intellectually that it's orange.
Yes.
So we can say, yes, it's orange, but to me it's starting to look like a different color. It has a different personality.
It certainly does. If an orange has a personality, it's a different one than what we started with.
The color is definitely distorted.
All right, well, let's try another color.
How about blue?
Okay.
Blue.
Wow, that's something there.
That's a night apple.
Yeah. Now that apple looks very different than the way it did before.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's certainly losing a lot of its red character.
Mm-hmm.
And the orange itself is taking on a blue character.
Is there another color we should use?
Yeah, I think we should try green.
Oh, now look at that.
Well, to me it makes the apple look black.
Yes, I was looking at that too.
And it makes the orange look green. So that really illustrates the tonality concept, where a darker object will go to black and a lighter object will go to white. When you put a very saturated color on it, it will basically reflect the color.
So we have a black fruit and a green fruit here just from the light. Now that's really interesting. Oh, I think it's time for a snack. You know, there's something else I wanted to show you about light combinations.
Yeah, what's that?
Well, you know, if you can subtract colors from one another, you can also probably...
Multiply, divide?
I was thinking add. Let's keep it simple. No, but if white light is made up of all the different colors of the rainbow, I bet we can recreate that by doing it here.
Can we try it here?
I think so.
Hi, welcome to my laboratory. How are you?
I like your laboratory. So what are you working on here?
Well, I thought I'd give you a practical demonstration of what we talked about in your laboratory.
Okay.
So you'll actually see it.
All right, well, let's take a look.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to take out this white light in the front.
Okay.
And we're going to bring up a red light.
See it.
So we see just a plain red light here, right?
Okay. All right.
Now we're going to add blue light to that. And what do we have? Principle and action. We have the red light, the blue light mixing into the magenta.
This oval area here is just, that's where the mixture is.
That's the mixture, right.
That's magenta.
Now you'll notice that my shadow is blue in the magenta, right? That's because I'm blocking the source of the red light and the blue light is filling it in.